Hi to you all, Remco here again, second video in my series Rating Climb. So I'm trying to climb as high as I possibly can. Uh, don't know where it's going to lead, but up till today my high score was 1107, the rating score on chess.com. And that was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then I declined a little bit to nearing 1,020 or something again. I climbed up to 1,050, and I stabilized for a couple of weeks. And the last week or so, I've been steadily climbing again. So I'm kind of went through the dip. I'm starting to play a little bit more solid again, and a bit more relaxed in my playing, less mistakes, more able to make use of tactics. So I'm starting to become in a good vibe again. I was considering playing maybe 2 games today in order to get to my high score because I was at 1,099, and if I were to play a game in which I would gain 8 points, if I would win the first game, I would level at my high score. But then I first game I played against an opponent was a little bit stronger, not that much stronger, but a win would mean a 9 points game. That would get me to a high score. Where you can see my score, I did actually win. It was a tense game, so I'm going to take a break now, and I don't think I'll play again. It's already 4:30, so a cup of tea and starting to think about dinner. I don't want to rush my games because when I do lose, I'd like to have an advantage to come back. And I don't think I would be able to make that before dinner. And I know myself, if I do lose, I get stressed to win again. And if it's a time pressure, I might lose again, and then I'm going into a tilt again. So I think I'm, I'm happy to call it a day. And my aim is it's November the 11th now to get to a ELO rating on chess. It's not ELO rating, but a rating on chess.com of 1,200. That means I have to uh, win one more game per. No, no, maybe win about 4 games more than I lose in a week, something like that. So if I can maintain like I did the last week or so, a win of 8 points a day, I can easily get there. So that's my aim. So I'm quite sure I'm not going to play again. So that's why I'm making this video. Anyway, so the high score was on the line. That's how I played. I'm just gonna put my glasses on. Right. So as you can see, uh, accuracy of 88.3. I'm really happy. It was a tough game. My opponent was once again quite um, forcing in his moves, but I kept my cool, kept everything defended, and then he made a few mistakes. You can see the red dots are mistakes for blacks, and that's why he started to fumble, and I could just finish the game off. So played 88.3 accuracy, which means an estimated ELO of 1850 on chess.com. No blunders, one miss, and the rest all just good. So without further ado, as they say, uh, this is what's happened. Hang on 1 second, just let me get rid of this. Sometimes the camera just shuts off out of nowhere, so I hope this will continue until the end. Anyway, normal opening, King's Pawn apparently, according to my chess.com coach, it's a Scandinavian, it's not it's a Sicilian defense. Some call it a silly defense, but it's a Sicilian defense. Just a night out. He's probably trying to prevent my bishop from coming all the way out here for whatever reason, which I had no intention of. I just bring it out here. He's obviously trying to prevent any kind of fried liver shenanigans, which is very it's a good choice, I think. Does keep on developing. He's attacking my bishop, retreating it. and bringing out the queen. I'm bringing up my bishop. In the last video, my first video, I did actually make a few mistakes with calling bishops knights or calling kings knights. Just having to get used to speaking about my games. So bear with me, I'll get there. So brought my bishop out to a natural square, and he fianchettoed his bishop, which means you bring it out to this square, eyeing on this vulnerable pawn possibly. So I was aware of that. I did keep that in mind. Just developing, I knew he would come with this, but then I thought like I'll just bring it back and reroute it to here. But I, in a way, wanted to provoke this move because it's, as they say in chess, like the further along you move your pawns, the weaker they get. So that was my purpose. He did bring it out. I retreat. Brings out the knight. I remove. Hang on, that was quick. I remove my knight. He brings out the knight, attacking my bishop. There was nothing I can do about it anymore. Well, I could bring it out here, but I wasn't too fussed about it. I couldn't bring it here, nor here. It was well defended by my knight, so I thought, like, well, you can have my bishop if you wish. So I castled. It's like I actually got a move for free because he went all out of its way to get my to get this bishop. So the castling was a free move for me. So as you can see, I've already developed one, two, three, four pieces and castled five. First, actually one, two, three, and he's still not developed here. He's not castled. So I was quite well, quite happy. He took my bishop. No worries, recaptured. Even though apparently Stockfish wanted me to take here, opening up this file. But I mean, I prefer this. I don't think it really makes much of a difference. I mean, the eval bar, as you can see, it shows we're equal at the moment. This was, in my eyes, pretty nice move, even though Stockfish doesn't like it. It finds it an inaccuracy. Because I didn't want to take it and allow the queen to come in with force because this is undefended and then this is undefended. So I didn't want to let that happen. And also, if I move my knight away to any square, like here, I thought like he either takes, I take, which would be fine, or if my knight is here, yeah, my knight is here. You could also push, and then I take, he takes, and then I would reroute my knight to here. And then I thought, like, we just keep going. Oh yeah, and also the reason why I didn't want to take this way is that this pawn would be hanging for the bishop to pick up for free. So these were all my considerations. So I thought about a minute about that, which is fine for me. I'm not a really quick thinker at the moment, which I'm absolutely fine with. So one of the lines I thought about was this one. So capture, recapture, reroute my knight to b3. Okay, so actually Stockfish preferred this line. Um, yeah, okay, well, fair enough. Don't think it makes a great difference, to be honest. Anyway, knight out. I did want to prevent any further movements towards my king or in my defense in general, all these three lines. So this is a way to defend that. This had me thinking for nearly a minute. I thought like, what kind of move is this? And it was a blunder because he only captured a pawn, and I thought, what kind of possible tricks does this person have up his sleeve? I mean, if I take it, I thought like, well, the queen cannot go anywhere. Well, this doesn't do anything. You can't go there because of my knight. You can't go there because of my bishop. You can't go there because of my pawn. Can't go there because of my knight. I didn't see any potential threat from his bishop. His knight couldn't go anywhere. Well, his knight could capture the pawn, but knight couldn't be doing any damage to me, so I captured it, which was the right thing to do. So I was up in material, so I had it straight in my mind. Okay, now just trade pieces and get to an end game. First, I was considering how I could get this pawn um, and threatening his knight, which he obviously defended, which I did expect. Um, to be honest, I didn't see that the pawn had two defenders, so I thought like I have two attackers now and I can take the pawn. But luckily, I did see that the knight was also protecting his pawn. But I also had some kind of idea that maybe in a future moment I can target this with the help of my queen. But anyhow, um, so this I think it's a fair move according to Stockfish, but maybe you see it, maybe you don't. But this is a check, and I would then have two attackers for this pawn, so that would mean a free pawn. And I obviously did consider that my opponent could just block it, but then I would capture his queen, take away his right for castling, and I'm still up in material so that I have a good way to go into an endgame. So I gave him a check, he defended, I took it, he recaptured it. Then I gave another check, aiming to get that pawn. I did actually expect my opponent to go here or here, but he didn't. He or she didn't. As you see, this leaves a pawn without defenders, so I grabbed that pawn, and now I have less pawns, but a piece up. So that's obviously quite good. And I'm doing this with tempo because I'm attacking the rook. So he had to move the rook out of the way. I just retreated back again, and then I had an idea of going here with my knight, attacking this pawn twice. It's only defended once. He can defend it again if he wants, but then I was going to bring my bishop out here and have three attackers and two defenders. But in the meantime, oh, that was later on my radar. I wanted to, oh yeah, my first plan was to get my rook here and attack this pawn. Because obviously that's a quite well advanced pawn. Now my opponent brings out the bishop and I just wanted to opt for a trade. So this move was in my picture again, um, having then two defenders for my bishop, but also two attackers of this pawn. So that's what I did. And this is a blunder. Well, it's an inaccuracy according to Stockfish. Obviously, I was well aware he's attacking this pawn twice and I can't recapture it because it's defended. But this bishop is undefended. So I took this bishop, which is worth more than a pawn, which he grabbed, which is fine by me. I obviously had to take in consideration that this pawn is also hanging. But I had a nice tactic also here that if I take this knight, if it would be recaptured, I've removed the defender of the rook, so I could recapture the rook and I would have basically won material, a full piece. And if I wouldn't take my rook, I'd also have a. Um, I would also be another piece up, and he would obviously then win a pawn, but that's well worth it for me. So I took. He captured, I captured, and now I'm up 7 points. At this moment, I thought my opponent would resign because this is apparent. I mean, this is just utter useless. I mean, a rook versus a rook, two knights and a bishop, and okay, 6 pawns against 4 pawns. This is just hopeless. He attacked my bishop, nah, my knight, but the plan I had before was this, so I captured, well defended by my other knight. He's bringing out the rook. I captured another free pawn. And also, obviously, I'm preventing this square, this square, this square, and this square for the rook to enter. So the rook cannot really enter at the moment. So he went here, presumably to give me a check here and maybe enter here on a different way. And I thought like, well, I can easily lose two pieces if I need to, and still have a good position for an endgame. So I just thought like, grab this other pawn. He gave me a check. I moved out of the way. He didn't even bother defend it. Oh, he couldn't actually defend it because this square is defended by, and he couldn't give me a check because this square is defended. So me grabbing another pawn, easily going into a lovely endgame. He's trying whatever he can to get some pawns, which is just utterly fine by me. Just give a check and bring my rook out. Let him have some pawns. We're trading some. Oh yeah, I wanted to trade some pawns, but then I thought like I will give him a check as I did, and this forces him to capture my rook, and then I can recapture, and then it's all done for him. Without any material, this is just a lost game. I have no idea why he didn't resign, and I just started pushing up pawns. I didn't want to have any risk, so I did actually grab another pawn, which give him some play because I attacked two pieces at the same time. And I thought, like, well, who cares? Sacrifice either my bishop or my knight for a pawn, and just promote this pawn and wrap it up. So that's what happened. Get a queen. I did actually obviously wanted to prevent any stalemate, and I didn't see any quick way to finish it with a queen and two knights. So I decided to get another queen, and in order to avoid stalemate, I just brought my king out of the way, which gives this whole line, this whole line, and the king's got a lot of places to go, and then I just got myself another queen and finished it off. Well, actually, my opponent resigned because obviously this is checkmate. No matter where he goes, if he goes, the king can only go here, or basically he can only go here. Oh, yeah, I gave him a check. Then the king can only go here, and then it's a checkmate here because it's protected by my queen. So he resigned. It's a lovely game, great accuracy, didn't make any mistakes. My opponent did, and I did actually punish his mistakes, which is, I mean, if you don't, it's also a blunder. So I did not blunder myself, and did punish the blunders of my opponent. And even though I did find it a bit tense, it was actually, looking back at it, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So there you go. That was my game of today. Calling it a day today, as I said in the beginning, and hopefully continue tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I have over the board chess in my hometown. So depending on how that goes, I might play online tomorrow in the afternoon, or maybe not, and carry on Friday. I'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.